Health officials from surrounding counties ask for a mask mandate to help keep hospitalizations under control. I'm Kate Kelly with details just ahead.
Missouri legislators are working to extend liability protections for places like hospitals. I'm Zach Dodge with the details.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Jasper County Health Department is reporting 5 more COVID-19 related deaths. This is KOAM News at 6. The health department says 4 of the patients were men, 1 each in his 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. 1 woman in her 60s also died. These latest deaths bring the county's total to 69. The Joplin Health Department today reported its 54th death, a 90-year-old woman. With coronavirus cases increasing all across the area, Joplin hospitals are asking city and county officials to consider a mask mandate for surrounding communities. KOAM's Kate Kelly joins us live from Mercy, where capacity is becoming a growing issue.
At Mercy, 50 people are in the hospital with COVID-19. 16 are on ventilators. This is the second highest caseload they've seen since the pandemic began, with October being especially difficult for both hospitals. Now, health officials are calling on city leaders to ask for a mask mandate to help get things back under control. The hospitals in Joplin, both Mercy and Freeman, are becoming increasingly concerned as more COVID patients enter their units, pushing them to capacity and beyond ahead of flu season, colder weather, and the holidays.
In a free country, we get to make our own decisions, but we also get to pay for the consequences of our decisions. And those consequences to this point are really straining the healthcare system.
Last week, Tulsa had no ICU beds to be able to take transferred patients, and so all the regional facilities that we would send patients to are really struggling with capacity issues of their own, so that's a big concern.
Both Freeman and Mercy officials agree that a mask mandate would help curb the number of hospitalizations they're experiencing. Dr. McNabb says that at any given time, at least 30% of Freeman's patients are battling COVID.
I can report today with no mask mandate that we're now losing slightly over 1 citizen per day. So that's about 30 plus patients per month, which represents, guys, a 7-fold increase from the time that we dropped the mandate. It's gone up by 7 times.
The coronavirus is highly more contagious than the flu, but it also we can not spread it if we wear masks, if we do the social distancing. So we can control whether we continue to do the spreading or not, and that's why we're asking for our community's help.
Health Department Director Tony Moore also signed the letter sent to city officials across Joplin, Webb City, Carl Junction, Carthage, Neosho, and all of Jasper and Newton counties. He says a mask mandate can't come soon enough.
It would be great if it went into effect last week, but obviously that didn't happen. And you know, it's difficult in a lot of instances for a whole region to develop mask mandates. Some of the states around us have done statewide mask mandates. It would be nice if in the state of Missouri, maybe the governor would make some sort of a mandate that at least gave guidance that, you know, this is what people should be doing.
In Jasper County, Kate Kelly, KOAM News. The Jasper County Health Department says that in the past 7 days, they've averaged 81 new cases each day. They say those kinds of numbers just aren't sustainable for a healthcare system that's already struggling. Joplin Mayor Ryan Stanley says that once he's had a discussion with Jasper and Newton County leaders, he'll discuss with Joplin City Council on how best to proceed. Mayors of Carthage, CJ, and Webb City said in a joint statement that they encourage people to wear masks. Reporting in Joplin, Kate Kelly, KOAM News.
All right, Kate Kelly, thanks. The renewed call for a mask mandate is getting reaction from both sides of the argument. We asked some area residents for their views.
Very much in support of a mask mandate. I feel like it does offer protection to everybody that's out in public, both to the wearer and to others in the public that you might encounter.
I don't think it should be mandated. I don't think we've got enough rules as it is, and to have something placed out there that I don't think it's fair.
Brings us to today's KOAM News Now Insta poll. Today's question is, would you support a mask mandate in your community? You can vote at KOAMnewsnow.com/vote or through the KOAM News Now mobile app. Results are updated live, and we're going to check back in on them a little bit later. Right now, we're checking in with Nick Kelly once again. Afternoon temps, beautiful.
Yeah, and thankfully with the south wind kicking in tonight, we're not going back into the cold, but we're still looking at a cool night ahead of us. Despite how temperatures go, it's nice to see another quiet look at the Skywatch storm tracker. No immediate storm systems on the way in tonight, but I am watching, however, our next storm system already in the western parts of the U.S. Some rain across the western coasts of Washington State, Oregon, and California. Until that system gets here, we stay quiet, and especially this evening. Temperatures getting cool a few spots already. Some mid to upper 40s around Stockton Lake, while most of us are sitting in the 50s. We had a light southeast breeze throughout the day to help us get back into mild territory, but that breeze picks up during the night. So what that means, we're not going to turn too cold overnight. We'll drop back through the 50s, but eventually into the lower to middle 40s for overnight lows. We'll enjoy a few more mild days before those rain chances work in. We'll break all that down in the forecast coming up in a bit now.
All right, we'll see you then. Missouri lawmakers consider legislation that would provide protections against lawsuits for places like hospitals, businesses, and schools during this pandemic. KOAM's Zach Dodge has details on what expanded liability protection would look like.
Earlier this month, Governor Parson expanded a special session to include discussions on liability protections. Co-sponsor Senator Bill White says it's to keep businesses and hospitals that are stepping up during the pandemic from facing frivolous lawsuits. The legislation that's being discussed would provide liability protections for healthcare providers working with new drugs and treatments to fight the disease, protect manufacturers and businesses that are making things like PPE when they didn't before, and protect schools and churches from lawsuits if someone catches the virus when they're there, as long as the organization is following safety protocols.
You don't want your healthcare person saying, I'm not going to treat you because I might get sued. Because what I'm treating you with, this drug may come out in 2 months, but this drug wasn't worthwhile.
But some, like personal injury attorney Scott Voorhees, don't think it's a good idea.
Our Constitution, both the United States and the state Constitution, guarantee a right to a jury trial, and what they're trying to do is take away that right, even when no protection is being offered to people.
He says there's already procedures in place to deal with frivolous lawsuits, so extending protections would keep meritorious suits from going forward.
This is another example of nursing homes, healthcare providers, insurance companies trying to protect themselves and their profits at the expense of innocent people. Because it's not a choice between is there going to be harm or not, okay? The question is, if somebody's at fault, start there. If they're a wrongdoer, are they going to pay for the harms they caused?
There is not protection for the really bad actor out there, the one who intentionally is doing something really bad.
The special session had to be paused due to COVID cases at the Capitol, but should resume after Thanksgiving. Senator White says if it doesn't pass then, he is ready to propose a bill that offers similar protections. Reporting in Joplin, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
Still ahead, we have a reaction from Oklahomans about the governor's announcement that he's imposing new restrictions on restaurants and bars. And an etiquette expert talks about the best ways to cancel or alter your Thanksgiving plans. Oklahoma restaurants and bars are preparing for new COVID-19 related restrictions. Governor Kevin Stitt yesterday announced restaurants and bars would be required to close at 11 p.m. and space tables at least 6 feet apart. We caught up with employees at Zach's Cafe in Miami who say they're prepared to follow the new rules.
We continue to follow the CDC guidelines, bleaching the tables, all the condiments. We've been following all that, wearing gloves while we prep food and everything. So we'll just keep continuing on and following the new restrictions.
The governor's restrictions go into effect on Thursday. As Thanksgiving approaches and the pandemic continues, some people are concerned about what their Thanksgiving plans are going to look like this year. But according to etiquette expert Valerie Solklowski, it's all about how you approach those situations and changes. She shared some tips with us on how to have conversations with loved ones, family, friends, if you plan to cancel or change your Thanksgiving plans. She says hosts of Thanksgiving gatherings should set the ground rules ahead of time. Things like whether the host wants to have social distancing or mask wearing at the event. And the same goes for guests who may have worries. She says they should reach out and share their concerns with the host.
Stay gracious, have a good attitude, be respectful, and do everything you can within yourself to not take things personally and to show up with a strong presence.
The CDC offers some steps on staying safe during Thanksgiving by washing hands, wearing masks, social distancing at gatherings, or to consider other activities like a virtual Thanksgiving. A little bit later, we're going to check in on our KOAM News Now Insta poll question on whether you'd support another mask mandate, and a local softball player signs on to continue her career at Division I program.
But first, we'll stay quiet for a few more days while I track our next chance for rain by the weekend. Forecast up next. It's just the same story for yet another day. A light breeze, plenty of sunshine. Took us from another cold start this morning to another nice and mild Tuesday afternoon. In fact, temperatures were fairly similar to what we saw yesterday. After a cold start in the 30s, we bounced back into the middle of the upper 60s yesterday. Same story again, mid-30s this morning, back into the mid-60s. We've got a few more mild days to enjoy. In fact, we'll stay quiet for tomorrow and Thursday, with skies staying partly to mostly sunny. It's not until this weekend that we'll see our rain chances with our next storm system roll in. In fact, we had to tweak the timing a little bit in terms of how soon those rain chances could start. But still, behind the system, we're still confident that we'll turn chilly once again, especially as we head toward the Thanksgiving week ahead of us. In the meantime, though, mostly clear up top like it's been all day long, but chilly already at 54 in Joplin with an east breeze at 5 to 10 miles per hour. We are seeing a contrast in temperatures across the entire region. 46 in Stockton to 55 in Pittsburgh, 55 in Miami. Still a couple of lower 60s between Grove and Anderson. Some of us are trying to hold on to those 60s with that light southeast breeze still at 5 to 10. However, throughout the course of the evening, we're going to see this corridor of stronger southerly winds work out of central Kansas and park itself right on top of us. That means instead of another cold night ahead of us, we'll only have 40s to drop back to as we head throughout the night. We'll continue to fall back to about the 50-degree mark by 10 o'clock, 48 by midnight. I'm thinking most of us lower to middle 40s. That will do for overnight lows. The Skywatch storm tracker, again, nothing to talk about here. High pressure over the Ohio River Valley, but still influencing the wind, kicking it out of the south and southeast. Off to the west, here's our next front already on shore. In fact, well into the west coast. That's going to be the next front, working in with those rain chances by the weekend. Until we can get this upper low to keep that system chugging along, it's all about the upper level ridge upstairs, keeping us nice, quiet, and mild again as we head into Wednesday. Before we see another nice mild day ahead of us, this time around, thanks to a stronger southerly wind throughout the night, we'll only put up with a cool start to our Wednesday instead of another cold night ahead of us. We'll only drop back to 44 around Joplin. Again, most of you lower to middle 40s before the sun gets right back to work and we kick that south wind into higher gear at 10 to 20 miles per hour. That'll push us into the mid 60s by lunchtime. 69 for downtown Joplin tomorrow. Everyone is fair game to go into the upper 60s and even some lower 70s before all is said and done for Wednesday afternoon. The future track taking us through the next several days. That upper ridge on Wednesday starts to slide out to the east, but is also on the warm side of the jet. We'll be in the lower 70s come Thursday afternoon. However, we see that upper low wanting to work in from the Pacific. That is going to push our next cold front in here for the weekend. Some of us can see these rain chances start as early as Friday afternoon, but Saturday and Sunday look to be the more likely days where we'll have periods of rain under cloudy skies. While we don't want rain during the weekend, rain chances that we could definitely use, it's on the way, between an inch and maybe as high as 3 inches in some spots. Sounds like promising rain, and we'll continue to keep an eye on those numbers as we roll along. Before the rain gets here, though, 69 tomorrow, 72 Thursday, 71 on Friday, despite this rain chances starting to pick up. And once we clear that system out now, back into the chill we go with 52 and partly sunny for Monday.
Certainly chilly compared to what we're experiencing this week.
It will be quite a cool down.
Thanks, Nick. Still ahead, a Galena High School softball player is moving on up to Division I. We're going to hear from Riley McNeamer about what it means to her to get the chance to play on such a big stage.
Well, today is a big day for Galena High School senior Riley McNeamer. McNeamer signed this afternoon to continue her softball career at Division I Auburn University in Alabama. Riley McNeamer is making the jump from the CNC to the SEC.
I am ready. I have been ready for 4 years now, so I think that it will be a very big jump, but I think I'm ready for it.
She's always in the cages getting extra reps, playing all year round. I mean, she's well prepared for SEC softball.
McNeamer signed Tuesday afternoon to continue her softball career at Auburn University. She's part of an Auburn recruiting class that's ranked one of the best recruiting classes in the country.
I do feel a little pressure, but I also feel a little bit of confidence because I'm a part of that. I know that I contribute a lot to that.
McNeamer will play second base for the Tigers.
As a softball player, I mean, she's a coach's dream. I mean, powerful offensively and defensively, can play all over the field for us. Primarily plays shortstop for us, but like I said, she can play anywhere.
She's a two-time All-State selection, but missed her junior season last spring due to COVID-19.
High school ball really is just an escape. Like, I love my teammates, I love the team, it's so much fun. And not being able to do that and having to sit at home, not seeing any of them, not practicing, it was really tough.
With this part of the process behind her, McNeamer now turns her attention to her senior season, which she wants to finish the right way.
I want to get a state championship. I mean, we have the potential to go to state. We have the potential to win state. We just need to do it.
While McNeamer signed today, she's actually been committed to Auburn since 2017. To Carthage High School now, senior Caden Krolichek also signing his letter of intent today. Krolichek is crossing the state line, playing for Pittsburgh State next season. He will play middle infield for Bob Fornelli and the Gorillas.
I'm just excited to just keep playing baseball. I always grew up playing it, and ever since I could hold a baseball, I knew this is what I wanted to do. I feel like I'm going to go in as an infield, but I'm just going to go in and work hard, and if they need me anywhere else, that's where I'll be.
At Baxter Springs High School, 4 signed this afternoon. Allie Fry there, joining the softball program at Fort Scott Community College. All-State player Riley Bush signed today to play at Cowley County. Then these last two, they're going to stay teammates. Zach Beeler and Brandon Kelly signed today to play at Ottawa University. Wichita State men's basketball head coach Greg Marshall has resigned as the leader of the program. His resignation comes after an internal investigation into allegations of physical and verbal abuse of players and assistant coaches. Marshall is the winningest coach in Wichita State history. He led the Shockers to 8 NCAA tournament appearances, including making the Final Four in 2013. Marshall said in a statement today, quote, "This was a difficult decision, but one I feel was necessary for my family, the university, and the student athletes." That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran, Lieutenant Colonel Kenneth Casper. The Chanute, Kansas native served in the U.S. Army, and we are proud to salute Lieutenant Colonel Kenneth Casper. He's tonight's 4-state hero. We have thousands of these heroes in our database. We're always looking for more. If you know of a veteran or someone who's currently serving in the U.S. military, let us know about that person. We'd like to honor them. Just go to our website, koamnewsnow.com. All right, now let's check back with the KOAM News Now Insta poll. Again, the question, would you support a mask mandate in your community? At this point, the overwhelming majority, 77% of respondents say yes, they would support that. You can vote at koamnewsnow.com/vote or through the KOAM News Now mobile app. We're keeping this poll open through this evening, so you do still have time to participate if you'd like. Check back with Nick Kelly for a final look at the weather.
Thankfully, a cool night ahead of us this time. We'll drop back into the 40s before we're back near 70 tomorrow, 72 Thursday. Mild to start the weekend, but our next storm system will work in for the weekend with plenty of rain chances to keep an eye on. We'll get a closer look at those rain chances, including how much we could see by this weekend, coming up tonight at 10, Dow.
Thanks, Nick, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. In the meantime, let's take care of ourselves and each other.